It's one of the biggest resolutions that people talk about is how can I save some money, spend less, get on budget, get on track, and it can be overwhelming. So financial expert Michael Masserant joins us now live with some help on how to better manage finances in this year. So Michael, thank you for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
This is one of the popular ones always, but especially now that we're reassessing everything and maybe you just spent a bunch of money over the past month or so. What do you think? I feel like we live in such a consumer-driven society, and a lot of it is when I'm scrolling through my social media, I am inundated with ads and very tempted to buy stuff. I mean, it's so easy to buy stuff. Do you see this as a big challenge going forward?
So we do, and I mean, the new year, new me, people have resolutions, and for 2021 and 2022, people were kind of in the mindset of making up for lost time. They felt like we kind of lost 2020 due to the pandemic, the lockdowns, and so they really made up for it in 2021.
And they had money, maybe a little money to spend, right?
And spending those cash reserves in 2021, 2022, maybe got out of your system, or maybe you're used to taking 2 or 3 or 4 vacations a year and eating out more often. I know for me personally, eating out is the big one, where I was checking my 2022 spending going, oh, whoa, that was a lot of restaurant spending. Let's try and cut that back in 2023 maybe.
You're exactly right. The psychology, and we were just talking about the psychology of money, a book that is a good read if you're trying to figure this stuff out, but the psychology of, I might miss out on this whole, pandemic put us in this mindset, YOLO, and let's go out and spend money. So, okay, what is the first step? What do we do now? Should we look back and see where do we spent the most money, or where do we begin?
So step one, you've got to get your arms around sort of your financial house, if you will. Is there credit card debt? Do we have an emergency fund set up? Those are 2 things that can quickly slip away from us. Okay. Now, I know it's tough. We have high inflation, but we could have a recession in 2023. And so if we have credit card debt already, if we don't have an emergency fund built up, that can really get sticky if we have a tough 2023.
Let's talk just briefly about credit card debt, and I know that can be a huge source of stress. That can keep people up at night. What do you do if you have it and you have no end in sight?
So there are 2 methods you can use to tackle credit card debt: the avalanche method or the snowball method. And there's arguments on both sides to be had, but just picking one of them and sticking to it, that's the most important piece. Is any progress is good progress.
What's snowball? Do you chip away at it?
So snowball, you want to pick one and pay it off, and use that payment to pay off something else, use that payment to pay off something else, and snowball away at it.
Got it.
Avalanche is pay it all off over time as you see fit, with the lowest interest or the highest interest rates first.
Okay, so how do you stay on track? So let's put aside our credit card debt. Let's, as we're looking forward and we're saying, okay, I'm gonna live a financially sound life. How do you do that?
So that's tough, because the first step is education, and unfortunately, so 2/3 of Americans are considered financially illiterate.
Wow,
which it's a high number.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, well, not me. I'd encourage people to go online to our website, retirementplanningedu.org. We have a little quiz that you can take to see how you stack up against the average American. And that's the first step, is to get educated, to make sure, do you know what the path should look like? And then going forward, creating a plan for yourself and trying to stick to it.
Can we simplify it though, Michael? It's just like with trying to lose weight, and it can be very complicated, but you can start simple where you say, I am going to try and eat less and eat more vegetables. With budgeting, can you say, let's make it as simple as possible, and let's break it down, and you're going to save 1/3.
For sure.
You're going to invest 1/3, and you're going to spend 1/3, or something like that. Don't follow that advice, but right?
So in terms of, I mean, one thing you did is really key, is trying to be specific. It's one thing to say, I'm going to spend less, or I'm going to save more, but those aren't really specific. So when you get to the end of 2023 and look back, did you hit your goal or not? It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
so
you
try
gotta
to be specific,
goals, right.
Make some specific goals, spend 10% less, save 10% more, whatever it is, and try to hit those goals as best as possible.
And for people who want to have some money that they want to invest, isn't it simple just to invest in an index fund and not look at it again?
Yeah, so we tell everyone at the Retirement Education Foundation, stock picking, market timing, in the long run, you're not going to win. So stick to your index funds, your 401ks, your 403bs, your IRAs. Don't time the market. I mean, 2022 is rough. There's no secret there. But over time, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. Good stuff. How do people find you?
Retirementplanningedu.org.
Retirement Planning EDU. And that's not just for people who are considering retirement, but for anybody.
Yeah, we have a lot of financial literacy education content out there.
All right. Thank you. This is a good start. We got a ways to go. Derek?